Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health risk for January 6, 2026. We do keep additional graphics available at tpatw.com, and we maintain a storefront, Patient Weather, on Amazon. Purchases made to Amazon through our storefront do support the activities of Patient Weather. Looking at the surface map for Tuesday and really beyond, it does look like high pressure remains the dominant feature over much of the country, although you can see the frontal system just trying to hang there in the south and even in the east, with the low lingering about the Great Lakes and slowly meandering east. Most significant there is the warm front that you'll see pushing on up toward New England, and really that warm front exists for almost all of the eastern portions of the country. Notice we have moisture lingering in the Pacific Northwest. We have moisture up the spine of the Appalachians and lingering across the Northeast. Other interesting aspect is there'll be downslope winds across the southern plains. As we get to the next final slide, you'll see dew points falling there dramatically also. That means an increase in fire risk there for the southern plains. Looking at our vitality index, we can pick out there is a significant area of interest there in Northern California, a really significant area of interest down in Texas, and that's going to again be leading to something more than what we've been talking about. And then really the whole eastern third of the country, except for Georgia and Florida down there in the southeast, will have some weather help impact. Looking at pressure change, rising pressure there in Northern California, rising pressure in the Central Plains, mainly Oklahoma, Kansas, up into the easternmost sections of Nebraska, western portions of both Arkansas and Missouri, trying to touch a little bit about Iowa. But it's falling pressure from the Great Lakes across the Ohio Valley down to actually the Carolinas, and then covering up and east all of the Northeast through New England. Looking at temperature change, and this will be the story of the week. After such a frigid period for most of the eastern half of the country, you'll note that the middle Atlantic states and most of New England, dramatic warm-up, and even some warm-up down in the south. Dew point temperature change, again, very interesting, and you'll note that we have the increasing dew point temperatures, increasing vapor pressure across the eastern third of the country. But notice in Texas, with that very sharp dry down and up into the Central Plains, both in the dew point temperature falls and the vapor falls and the downslope winds, this is that fire threat we were talking about up in the plains. Looking at POI, or our change in the availability of oxygen in the atmosphere, you'll note we have a spotty risk of migraine across California, but nothing significant to talk about. But as we get in the plains from Texas, clear on up into easternmost North Dakota, but really picking up across Minnesota, we have a sharp rise in the risk of migraine, really significant across Oklahoma, into Arkansas and western Missouri, cutting across Iowa, and then becoming very significant again up in Minnesota. The real story, or the other story, is asthma and arthritis, and basically it's a line up the Mississippi all the way from Louisiana clear to Wisconsin, everywhere east with a risk of asthma and arthritis, except for Florida and probably the southern sections of Georgia. The most significant risk of asthma and arthritis, though, here about the Ohio Valley, Ohio, West Virginia, even North Carolina, back up into western Pennsylvania, and then picking up sharply again here across Vermont, New Hampshire, and on into southern New England. And this includes all of those Canadian cities from Windsor to Quebec. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated. And if you hurt, won't you tell us where you're located?